we'll find that out because we're jumping into game number 2, playing the Portuguese, starting in Dark Age here. It's again with Nearly and Nobody 41.
Hello everybody, we're going to have Clemensor, he's going to be on the top left of the map, and on the bottom right side we're going to have Tatoh. It's going to be a Portuguese war. Wow, is this game going to be a lot different, and we're starting in the Dark Age too. So it's going to be a Portuguese Deathmatch Dark Age start.
Oh, and remember, you need to have 2 buildings to click up, and we can see Clemensor queuing up 15 villagers. That's not too good. You only want to have like 1 or 2 villagers queued up, because now Tatoh can click up to field village, what you can see already 3%, and Clemensor still building the mill, and now going for loom even, an interesting approach.
I think I like this approach. Clemensor's already getting in on top of these villages. They don't have loom. We're seeing militias coming out really nice and early. Looks like Clemensor's going to try. No, he's not going to get that villager. Maybe this was a good play for Tatoh.
He slowed him down quite a bit, and now obviously so much better against the raids, but Clemensor should not get any food. He has 16k in the bank. He should continue building houses, and that's what he is doing exactly now. And it feels like in Dark Age, what will you go for? A lot of militias.
Absolutely. It's going to be a little bit of time since we see any other unit, because you're going to have such a massive militias that, you know, and the archer's going to take so much micro. So it's going to be really critical who gets that men-at-arms upgrade first. And that's clearly going to be Tatoh with that earlier up, not having to get loom.
Yeah, but still, Clemensor now has 7 barracks up and Tatoh only 5. That means he should get the advantage quite a bit. Now both players taking the fight in the middle, not 100% sure if that's the best what they can do. Tatoh now up feudal age, roughly 25% earlier, but maybe can get some raids in. Is Clemensor? Not now.
Tatoh going right up with a stable and blacksmith. He's going to start to get those armor upgrades, and he's going to click up to the next age fairly shortly. Only now Clemensor getting into the feudal age. He's going to start to research that men-at-arms, and let's see if we get that blacksmith up and maybe a stable from Clemensor. Let's see what he goes for.
Yeah, we can see only pop 35 here by Tatoh. Clemensor at 40, trying to rush his archer ranges up now as well. Is he getting blacksmiths? Indeed, and he should go for the M&A upgrade as well. It's retreating quite a bit, and now he can take big engagements for sure. Is ahead on the overall military count now, but that's not really what matters, because if you spend all your resources here at M&A, you don't have resources to continue producing in Castle Age.
Very interesting. Clemensor going up with, he's going to go heavy into archers. He's building archer ranges on the right, whereas Tatoh, he's got a sneak on the left side coming in with some stables. He's going to use those to try to establish map control. So we're going to see eventually knights versus archers. I wonder who's going to win in that engagement.
Yeah, if you don't mass your archers, obviously it's super good for you. Especially Clemensor only at 5% here, and Tatoh at the same time already is 60%, heavily ahead.
Looks like Clemensor's going to win this fight pretty easily in the middle. What is he going to be able to do with these men-at-arms once he wins that, though? Is he going to go do some damage over at Tatoh's base?
He's trying to, but I think he's going too much with patrol move. But he's snagging some of his some villagers of Tatoh, so that's really good. And now he's getting in from the behind, and those 3 M&A, they could do damage, but they are going back sadly. And it feels like Clemensor has quite a bit of control, but now it will be knights against mainly longswordmen, but I believe they have 5 more HP on the expansions, right?
Longswordsmen, yes, they have 5 more HP. I wonder how much of a difference that's going to make, though. As Tatoh starts to spam out those knights, he's got all of these stables queued up. They're going to come in on the left side, and boy, I see some lovely, lovely villager picks. Why is Clemensor building a lumber camp right now? I have no clue.
Maybe to get the upgrades in the long run, yeah, but I believe that's not optimal for sure. Let's take a look at Tatoh now, even going for Town Watch. Now only we have Clemensor getting into Castle Age, so I want to see him get... Oh, he's building another TC. Maybe he didn't even realize the Knight Raid here, but he has a lot of aggression at the front now as well.
Oh, these villages, they should be goners. The knight's going right past them. There we go. We're going to see Tatoh pick off these 3 villages. 3 villages still a pretty big deal at this stage in the game. All that being said, Clemensor is pushing on the front, and there's not a lot of defense for Tatoh. Tatoh built those military buildings at the side, not at the front.
Look at the overall population. It's 30 for Tatoh, and we have Clemensor with 110.
That is incredible. I wonder I wonder if this was the right decision for Tatoh to make all these military buildings on the left. How is he going to deal with these longswordsmen in his face?
I have no idea. It's so much. He might even go for the town center kill. Is that an option here? And he only has one to see. Clemensor, he's going for it. Let's switch into the point of view of Tatoh. He even cancelled Imperial Age here and did it on another TC. Look at that. Beautiful sniper attempt here of Clemensor. Nice reaction of Tatoh, but that puts Clemensor back into the game when it comes to tech, and he's winning the fight in the back as well. I think Clemensor has a solid lead here.
Tatoh, I think he's getting a little... Tato's trying to be a little bit too fancy. The most important thing in deathmatch is, of course, production. You have to produce as much as possible. Perhaps those villagers moving across the left side, not building that whole time, could have helped put Tatoh behind in this game.
Oh man, pop 46 for Tatoh, Clemensor at 90, and he's up to Imperial Age with 20%. It's compared to Tatoh, 40%. So Clemensor did catch up. He's getting more TCs up, gets all the tech, and Tatoh just so spread out, not having a lot of rules, and going for mass knights against a guy who has a lot of longswordmen out.
So, let's see. I think Portuguese do get halberdier, so should be going to halberdier. So, what is Tato's plan? Is he going to go straight into chemistry, perhaps to counter these halberdier? I would think that's going to be the strongest army for Tatoh.
Yeah, well, Portuguese obviously have the strongest gunpowder units. If he goes for bombard cannons and hand cannoneers, that should be epic. Having ballistics there, but you need to research that. And that's an upgrade that a lot of DMers don't really know of. And yeah, you need to click it. And DMers, obviously, since like 99% of all your games are starting in post-Imperial Age, you're not used to actually using like things like a blacksmith.
Tatoh looks like he's coming back a little bit in the game. He's still the aggressor despite losing his buildings on the left side. Hopefully this will buy him enough time if he does want to go for that chemistry upgrade. I see Tatoh with the university. Don't see the chemistry upgrade coming in quite yet.
Let's take a look. University in the back here. And maybe we'll have Clemensor going for it a bit earlier. Yeah, he's instantly clicking the university, so I believe the tech there is a bit better. Let's take a look. Is Clemensor also going for halberdiers? He's continuing pikemen. I don't see the halberdier upgrade yet, though.
I'm looking at Clemensor's resources. I like his resources quite a bit better. He's had a higher population, too. We're kind of at that stage where players have spent through all of their beginning resources. So what army they have is the army that they're going to have to keep for a while until they get their economies up.
Indeed. And yeah, if you have the bigger army, that's a good setup for you. Tatoh now going in with all his light cap. Let's take a look. Still no halberdier upgrade might hurt Clemensor so badly, and he's not patrolling in, only now reacting, and even some units going to attack the TC. That's a great engagement for Tatoh here on the left-hand side.
That's a huge engagement for Tatoh. That's exactly the engagement he needs. Just those cavalier cleaning up the regular old pikemen and the longswordmen. The arbalest, of course, not that great against cavalier, especially in when you have to manage all these other things. But what a great fight for Tatoh.
Finally, Clemensor coming in with the halberdier upgrade, now sending most of its units back, doing a great raid as well. But so is Tatoh, and I have no idea who's actually ahead. We have Clemensor pretty much down except Wood at 105 pop, and we have Tatoh at 90, everything down as well, except Wood as well. So it feels like a pretty even game, I would say.
Both players taking and trading body blows. Clemensor raiding the two town centers on the right heavily. Tatoh taking out the town center completely on the left side. In Clemensor's base, I saw these longswordsmen just go to town on the arbalest. How often do you get to see that? Just hero longswordsmen.
Indeed. And yeah, just more HP and outnumbering as well. And if they have, reasonable upgrades, they can perform pretty well. But now we even see organ guns, and I'm excited to see how they will perform. I don't like them too much personally, but probably I never use them to full potential.
I think we saw in a lot of the early tournaments of the expansions, the organ guns were super strong. Players were going for them all the time. I think they've been nerfed significantly since they've introduced that minimum range, but still, they're a very strong unit. Pretty good bang for your buck, I think.
Okay. Let's see, yeah, it's a nice siege unit doing some splash damage, so if he wants to go for an attack, it's absolutely an option. And look at that, main base of Tatoh now going for farming, and that's so tough in not Imperial Age DM to go for reasonable farming, because you cannot really start early on. And switching Castle Age with low amount of villagers, it's so tough to manage that. And Tatoh is doing a great job at raiding every spot in Clemensor. I think he's looking at 4 farms so far.
I'm looking at the military numbers. It looks like 70 military for Clemensor and just 40 military for Tatoh. So Tatoh's really behind in military. You might want to play a little bit defensive here. Hopefully Clemensor doesn't push in too quickly on him. Looks like Tatoh's losing his base on the left as well.
It looks like it, and yeah, protected by a very strong army there. This Clemensor's 2 bombard cannons, or R. And yeah, what is Tatoh going for? It seems like Tatoh's now switching on to Arbalest. That's confusing, probably because of his low eco. He cannot tag to hand cannoneers.
Yeah, hand cannon is going to be more expensive. Organ guns, of course, very expensive. He's already got a bunch of cavalry here, though, so that's going to be a nice combination. Arbalest plus Cavalier. We'll have to see how this combination does.
Yeah, it has to be very, very effective, and it has to destroy everything that Clemensor has. But if he gets onto, yeah, a usable tag switch like Harbour the Arbalest, I think he can perform, maybe even get some onagers out, but those cost so much food, and I still don't see any army or any food eco from Clemensor.
So Tatoh was really behind early on in this game. I thought it was going to be GG right there, but he's still hanging on. Who do you think has the advantage right now?
It's so tough to say. Let's take a look. Tatoh at pop 120, Clemensor was exactly the same pop. He has a nice army on the left hand side, but I believe Tatoh's army is just more mobile and a bit stronger, so I have to give the advantage here to Tatoh.
I do like Clemensor does have such a huge army on the left side, though. I have to wonder, is he wasting his time on the left side, or is this his best option to try to take down this castle?
I think Tatoh is doing, yeah, a masterpiece here. Just holding that castle, raiding the right-hand side, buying himself time, and now look at how many villagers will go down in the center here. I believe Tatoh is just buying himself time, maybe even trying to out-micro against the bombard cannons here. This is absolutely an option, and it feels like Clemensor indeed is losing too much time.
Tatoh coming in with the raids. Clemensor's going to have to build his army if he wants to defend his base. All of his army stuck on the left side. And it looks like Clemensor's, what, going to give up on this castle now?
It feels like it, and Tatoh, I think that wasn't even his plan, but yeah, he did hold.
Mm-hmm. And Clemensor, one thing I noticed, where are the farms for Clemensor? I just don't see the farms. I see like 0 farmers right now. Tato's got plenty of farmers. I think one of the first resources that runs out, aside from gold, is going to be food. Food runs out really quickly on Deathmatch.
Yeah, especially in Dark Age, because like the first units you will build are like 200 militia M&A longswordmen, and yeah, that's basically 12k food down the drain if you're not playing Goth. So yeah, then you have to work with the rest, but you need to invest endless amount of food into the tag, 2k, or no, never do math on stream, 2.3k even to only get to Imperial Age, so that's so tough to replenish.
Looks like Clemensor's going to try and push in the middle of the map. There's tons of resources to be taken here, so it's very important that Clemensor keeps control of these resources. He's going to start to target down this castle, and if he can get through that castle, he can start to work on some of these military buildings.
You may wonder if maybe rams would have been a better option, or some traps instead of the bombard cannons. I know and I love bombard cannons. They are mobile, they can do huge damage against other units than buildings, but still, if it goes to real killing and real strength, bombard cannons aren't the go-to units.
Yeah, Ram's absolutely a much better option at taking down military production buildings. I think Clemensor might be thinking two things. Oh, here comes the big engagement!
Tatoh is coming in with all the Cavaliers, Arbalest behind. Let's see, bombard cannons not focusing on the Arbalest here. Maybe now doing some damage. Clemensor trying to regroup. Some Halberdiers out of position. Bombard cannons now down. It feels like most of the Cavaliers already going down from Tatoh. Yes, +4 defense indeed. Nice positioning here by Clemensor. And it feels like a pretty even fight. What would you say?
I would say it's a pretty even fight. Just not enough Cavaliers to clean this up. Let's see if Tatoh has enough to take down all these Arbalests now, though, as he brings some more Cavaliers in the back.
Oh yeah, it feels like it, and Clemensor needs to retreat, losing all the Halberdiers now, dropping down to pop 70. We might have said it was pretty even, but in the end it feels like Tatoh, especially now with the spike control, is chasing down, and it feels like he's winning a bit.
Regardless who won this fight as far as cost efficiency, I think this was still a win for Tatoh. We established that Tatoh had a much better economy than Clemensor, and Clemensor had a lot more military than Tatoh. But just by Tatoh holding, I think it's going to get his eco an opportunity to take over in this matchup. So now that maybe Tatoh can replenish his army.
Indeed, indeed, and still so protected eco as well. And now he's pushing, he's switching onto skirmishers, he's getting back onto his main gold spot. He has so many farms spread out. Look at that, Clemensor still has 2 TCs with only 1 villager each, I believe. So he's really not getting his eco rolling. And I know it's super tough, but I think he needs to take care about that a bit earlier.
I think Tatoh has like 6 or 7 town centers. Tatoh is just going to be getting farther and farther ahead in the economy. I think Clemensor has to do some damage now if he wants to win this game.
I think he needs to retreat now and buy himself enough time to get a good eco up himself, because he doesn't really have the pushing power anymore.
Yeah, that was the one thing he was relying on. Looks like Clemensor going up to what, 4 or 5 town centers now? He's going to need to buy himself some time.
He has quite a reasonable amount, but yeah, it's surely not enough, and his waypoints are out of position as well. And let's see, bombard cannons losing at the front, most costly unit in the game. So now skirmishers, and it feels like Clemensor might tab out here. It's not really now, but it's looking worse and worse for him. And Tatoh is not a guy who's throwing games very lightly.
I love this decision to add in these elite skirmishers. It's just such a cheap unit, and it does the same job that an Arbalest would do, at least against this army composition. Clemensor hasn't teched into the Cavalier, hasn't teched into light cavalry or any of those upgrades, so I really, really like this elite skirmisher decision.
What is Clemensor doing with the monk? Okay, yeah, elite skirmisher is so effective, and yeah, Clemensor doesn't really have the gold or the food to tech for onagers, to go for cavaliers. Hussar's not even really an option, and therefore I think Tatoh is going for a very, very deadly army here. And Clemensor, what is this really strategy choices now? Top 9?
I think he's going to hope to hold this hill, but 3 of his town centers idle. Castle's going to go down. He's going to lose access to his main gold. I think it's looking very bad for Clemensor. Maybe we see one more fight and then maybe a final stand for Clemensor, but I'm not sure how he's going to pull this back.
Especially like 15 farmers lost there as well. He's now going for skirmishes as well. But Tatoh in absolutely full control.
Man, going back into the earlier stage of that game, remembering when that castle was getting sieged by Clemensor, I think it's pretty fair to say this is a pretty good comeback. Here comes the skirmishers at the front. Let's see if this is going to be the last engagement for Clemensor.
Oh, let's see. Now this castle is struggling so much. Look at that, 7 bombard cannons out now. Still no upgrades there, no masonry. And therefore, this castle goes down very quickly. And Clemensor is tapping out. 2-0 here for Tatoh.
What a great game played from Tatoh. I thought Clemensor had this game at one stage, but maybe too slow to push, too slow to get up to the next stage. Remember when Clemensor took down the town center of Tatoh as well? I thought it was going to be game over right then.
Yeah, it felt like pop 110 against pop 30. That has to be the ending. But Clemensor not really spreading out his units too much. Obviously, it's so tough. Very small line of sight. You don't have the upgrades yet. And what was it? Longsword man, very slow as well, tough to chase down villagers in general, and he didn't really profit enough from his very heavy investment. Then Tatoh got into stronger units, could fall back, get the eco up, and take the W.
And also a theme for this game, Clemensor pretty much staying in his own corner. We don't see him expanding out too much, whereas Tatoh, he took some risks. He took some risks to expand out onto the left side, expand out to the bottom, and really take that map control.
Indeed, indeed. And then let's take a look into the points. And the scores, kill stats, so brutal here. Clemensor, yeah. Aye.
Man, look at those KD ratios, 400 to 250. That's such a great KD ratio. I wouldn't be surprised at all if someone won a game with that kind of KD ratio.
And food is absolutely telling the story. 11k more food for Tatoh. Wood is just brutal for Tatoh as well. Gold, 5k. Look at that. What is the villager count? 110 to 56. Tatoh's macro just absolutely on point here. And that was losing so many villagers in. Yeah, look at that.
Nilly. There's two statistics here. Look, largest army 130 to 90. Clemensor had the largest army. And look at the timeline. Look at this timeline.
Yeah, it's just brutal. Just shortly before Imperial Age, we had nothing for Tatoh. Or like early Castle Age. Just, you have to end the game here. What is this? Like 80 to 20% or something?
That's ridiculous. I've never seen a timeline like that before in a real pro game.
Well, I did, but Blue always won those games.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, what a brutal comeback, and then you can see how Tatoh expanded, and Clemensor a bit slow there. And